Hopefully this works. Hi, welcome to this new Factorio playthrough. So I did a poll on Twitter, and it was talking about we wanted, and what came in top was a Vanilla Plus game, and so that's what we're doing. So here's the mods we're running. I'll just go through all of them right now. Running Afraid of the Dark, just because it lightens up the game. It's great for recorded stuff because it gets really dark in the game and it just doesn't show up on recordings very well. I'm not running a lot of military mods because for this playthrough, I just want it to be relaxed, and I don't mind biters when I'm playing multiplayer, and this isn't a game where I'm guaranteed to have people around all the time, so I'm not going to be running biters. We're going to be focused more on the production chains. Is anything updated that I care about? Is that a changelog that... yeah, that's not what I care. I don't care about you. So we're not just so you know, we're not gonna be running biters just because it's like it's a lot of running around. It's just like one extra kind of tedious task to do, and when it's just one person, we have enough of those to do. Not running angels because this is a vanilla playthrough. Auto deconstruct because obviously you'd run auto deconstruct. It just makes your miners get picked up when they're done. Big Brother just means it lets you research to expand your range of your radars, which is nice because like vanilla radars are just such a small space that they actually cover, and this helps a lot. Why are you running? Oh yeah, I was experimenting with actually running Bob's inserters, but I'm not gonna do that, so I'll probably have to restart. I mean, if we're doing that, we might as well just update as well. Bottleneck, it gives you a little circle telling you when like hey, is this machine running at capacity right now, or is it out of like resources to run, or does it not have space in its output? So it tells you that. Copy assembler pipe direction. It just is a nice little thing. Hey there, Gratis, how's it going? It's just a little quality of life thing. Decorio. It lets us make things fancy if we want to. Disco Science is a very important mod that makes the labs light up based on what colors you're researching, and it's important. Electric trains, it lets us get some like in-game trains that run on electricity and not fuel. That said, I usually just end up using fuel, because it's not that hard to just set up like a rocket fuel generation outpost and then just never care about fuel again. And also, we are going to be doing a lot of trains, both in the in the mid-game and the end-game, because obviously we are going for a space exploration end-game that requires us to build a huge mega base. But I also like, just even like when I'm running the main bus, I like to have a train supplemented main bus, like shipping in ores, shipping in things like that. So, we've enhanced map colors, which just makes the mini-map fancier. Even distribution lets us it does exactly what it thinks. This is just a library. Factory Planner is kind of like a hell mod type thing. Yeah, trains. I love trains. Fill for me, it lets us like autofill stuff, although I'll probably have it off. It's mostly useful for when you're doing combat stuff, and since we're not running biters in this one, it doesn't matter. FNEI, it just lets us look up recipes, although it's mostly vanilla, so that won't be super useful. It's mostly useful for when you're running like Bobs and stuff, where it's like, I don't know how this works. Another very important mod, it's called Honk. It lets trains honk. Fusion robots, it lets us give us some in-game robots that don't need a recharge. Chaos power, it just gives us some extra power gen stuff we may not use, but oh well. Less unplugged, it makes the we're out of power button a bit smaller, just because it's really obnoxious otherwise. Lighted electric poles, it lets us put lights in electric poles, so we don't have to worry about placing lights too, which is great. And we'll be using a lot of them, and it'll be a lot of our early game power use. Loaders, they help load and unload stuff. I like this version. I like the slightly longer one and how it kind of changes how you have to build it. There's a mini loader one, which like makes them just 1x1 entities, but I like them being a little bit longer. I think just the compact one looks weird. Logistic cargo wagon, it is exactly what you think. It's a cargo wagon that functions as a logistics chest. Longer day and nights, it makes days and nights longer, and also just kind of helps with capacitors and stuff like that. Logistics train network, I find this very useful for our recycling system that we're going to set up. I won't be using it primarily, and there's some LTN stuff. I will not be using it as the primary way that we move resources around the base, but some things we will use LTN for. Multi-product recipe details. It's just a nice little thing, although it's not as useful in vanilla. Nanobots, because of course we're running nanobots. This is like the mod that like should like more than almost anything else. Something like this needs to be in vanilla. Nice fill, it just makes line fill a bit nicer. Library, outpost planer. It's a cool thing that lets us like just go over an ore patch and will automatically place ghosts for an entire mining patch, which is great when you're making so many mines and don't want to run that. Picker, because picker's great. Mostly I'm using dollies and pipe tools. And more libraries. Power armor Mark 3. It just gives us a nicer power armor so we can get faster speed and stuff. We're not running Panadons because it's vanilla. Also, Pycole Touched by an Angel is kind of broken right now, and he's working on rebuilding it from the ground up. So that's a bit wild. Quality of life research lets us get things like extra movement speed, extra crafted speed, and that's great. Resource spawner overhaul because it makes everything look nicer, I find. Like, this is one of our ingredients. It's rocket silo construction. It makes rocket silos a lot more in-depth and actually heavier construction. You have to like dig them out and reinforce them and do all this, where it's not just you slap it down and you're done. So you have to really kind of plan where you're putting your rocket silos and how all that happens. Much stuff we're not using. Okay, this is I think the main in-game of this thing, which is space in-game, space exploration, which is a huge, it gives you a lot of cool in-game kind of doohickeys to start, I don't know how to say words, it gives you in-game things to work towards, where like massive sign costs, massive resource costs, to essentially you're trying to build an FTL ship and get off this planet because you've been stranded here. Squeak through is it lets you move through things easier. Stone water well, it just is a source of water that doesn't require water. Some people consider like strategically finding like placing your oil stuff in your water as like part of the game, but I personally do just like being able to just plop down like a well. Tape line, it's just a tape measure. Text plates, let's just make fancy text if we want to. To-do list, it's exactly what it says, it's a to-do list. Tree collision, it makes it easier to run through forests. Vehicle snap, it makes driving a bit easier. Void chest, I don't think we'll need void chest as much in this pack, because like vanilla is pretty good about using all your resources, but we might use it for things like wood late game, because we get so much wood and we don't need this much wood. Warehousing, it gives us really big buildings that we can use as warehouses, which is great. And what is it really used for? Which just helps with some other stuff. Cool. Let's just restart for those mods that we updated, and we are going to jump right into it. Oh, my sound is off. It's like, why am I not hearing the music and stuff? Also, why aren't you hearing the music? But yeah, so we're gonna jump right into it. For the most part, I'm going to be not running from blueprints, although when we get to some endgame stuff, we'll probably end up using some blueprint stuff. Alright, so we are going to this is actually going to be a multiplayer game, because if you run a multiplayer, the game does not pause when you open the text screen, and that's something I'm very used to. And I actually already have my settings that I'm running right here. Also, that's not what I was looking for. I'm looking for you. I am prepared. I know where everything is. Open up Notepad++. Here we go. Alright, so let's import you. Alright, so this is the thing. So, oh, well, okay. I've been spending a lot of time, but essentially what we're doing is I'm not running Angel's Infinite Ore, So I set the richest pretty high just because it's like I don't want to have to just make new mines. Like once a mine is made, otherwise it's pretty much default real world settings. Um, I made it our starting area pretty like dry and stuff, so we don't have to deal with like chopping down endless trees. Uh, Water is just like low coverage, large scale, so we don't have to deal with like running the water, so we can make a good train network. I turned off cliffs because to hell with cliffs. I hate cliffs. No cliffs. Um, but otherwise, nothing really there. Enemies we've turned off just because I don't want to have to deal with that. And research queue available. And because we don't have enemies, I turned off pollution just because it doesn't have any mechanics and it just slows down the game when you get to the late game. And yeah, so this is our setting, and I thought it was like big open space, lots of stuff to work with. Some water that we'll have to do with like to the south, but yeah. I will say the one exception to the like not using Right, we're just looking for rocks real quick. The not using pre-made blueprints is I will be using like rail blueprints because rails are nice. I'll just get a few things I know. I give a deconstruction planner, and if I start going too fast, let me know. Also, let me know if the audio levels are okay. Right, so we're just gonna chop some rocks, get some coal, these big rocks, so we can start getting some iron. And our first research that we're probably gonna get is probably just gonna be automation. So, those who are not familiar with Factorio, the first thing you do is you're trying to set up power. This probably wasn't gonna be like a full tutorial series. It'll like be like, I'll try to be friendly. If you have questions, let me know. There's music like occasionally plays. It's kind of like Minecraft where it's like music's not constant. That might be a bit loud on the chopping. Alright, this will give us enough stone at the beginning. So first thing we're gonna grab is just some iron, because iron is useful. Also, let's just put these on our hotbar real quick so we can use it. Set up a little bit rest of our hotbar. Actually, no. You are loaders. You everything. I don't usually light up the small electric poles just because it's like early enough game that we don't deal with that. Alright, just gonna set up some more view, because iron is our first bottleneck, and we just need to make much iron. So otherwise, we have some oil here, we have some copper, we have some coal, we have some stone, and that's our starting resources. So how's everyone doing? Is anyone? But yeah, no, the early game's kind of slow. I will admit. Okay, because we have stone water well, we don't actually have to build our power supply next to this well, and because the well is kind of like far off, so I'm thinking I kind of want to put our starter mall like over here so we can like have ores go this way and then like stuff go there, and like it's close enough that we know. So I am going to. Do I have my double? This is a Catherine the Sky's starter pack. I said we weren't going to be using too many blueprints, but I'm using this blueprint because steam is nice to have. And this is just gonna be our initial like steam array. Like we don't need both sides, and we will not be filling out this immediately. I'm just gonna remove the power poles because I don't like the power pole configuration. I should really change my blueprint for that. But yeah, so this is gonna be our initial one. Probably just be building 1 or 2. But essentially we went this way and built our star base over here. So our coal moves through our power first before actually reaching like our furnaces and stuff, because we don't want to run out of power, because that would be bad. We have a few trees up here once in a while that we can use to get basic electric poles. Although one thing in vanilla is that once you're past the early game, wood becomes almost useless. Right, let's grab some of you, and let's just make 4 and like 2 more. Alright, so we're going to be setting up some coal miners, and we're just going to put them in a little circle like this, so they'll feed into each other and mine coal forever. Which is all we need. Then we'll go over here and set up some stuff for copper, because we'll need a little bit of copper for like power poles and things like that. This oil is resource spawner overhaul, adds oil to the starting area, although it's not very good oil, and we might use it just to like get blue science hooked up. Alright, let's just set up one thing, getting us some stone, because we have a fair amount of stone, but we can always use more stone. Let's just plop you down, with a chest, and we don't need all of this, so let's limit that chest. I don't use wooden chests normally, because it's like, I'd rather make iron chests, because iron chests is kind of the staple of what I use in most places, for like outposts and stuff. Alright, so got a bunch of that. Let's get some more iron, because these things take a lot of iron. Alright, so let us, excuse me. Early on we do have the option for bird generation and wind turbines, but I just prefer to go straight to steam engine. Early game is a lot of setting up yourself, and then once you hit bots, then it becomes much more setting up systems to build things. I'm also going to be using nanobots, which will get us to that point a lot faster. And excuse me. Oh, my crafting speed is so slow. Right, so this is a little boiler that'll make steam, and all that steam will go into these steam engines once it has water, which it does not, and also connect it up to power poles. So we can run the offshore pump here, but I'm just gonna make an offshore water well because, oh, that requires bricks. I don't feel like making bricks right now. Let's put you there. Fortunately, the water pump does not actually require power. And we're just gonna make some, oh, we do not have enough iron to make undergrounds. Let's just go grab some iron. Currently we're very slow because we don't have any movement speed upgrades or anything else. Also, we need to change our color. What color should we be? We can change the color of our little guy. Make us some pipes. Probably, we don't need this many pipes, but eh. What's a few more pipes between friends? Alright, so the next thing we need to build after this is going to be a research lab, because we need to research stuff. And then we need some science packs, which we need more iron for. And essentially, how you progress in this game for the most part is you gotta research science. And we currently only have one science pack available to us, and this unlocks lots of new things. Like, this is our in-game tech, which requires 200,000 of like every kind except military science. Purple it is. Test color. Purple. There we go, we're purple. We're going to make 2, 3, 4. I usually do 4 packs just because that will get us through both automation and logistics, which lets us do more fancy stuff with our whatchamacallit. Oops. Gonna run our piping down here. I'm used to like the Bob's plastic pipes, which like just go on forever. But we need some more undergrounds. So I'm actually gonna cancel these. I think maybe the stone water will open easier because I forgot how long it takes to run these things. Actually, let's go to the other side. Actually, no, we can just pop this down here for now. So it's saying, hey, I don't have enough power because these aren't generating power because, fun fact, a steam engine requires power. Not quite long enough, but that's fine. Now water's going in, it's making steam, we have power, and we're researching science. And let's make the last few packs to finish off the other two. So the next thing we want to do is, now that we have power, now that we have science, we want to automate making science. And automate making the other stuff we need to automate making science. The first thing I usually do is automate getting power, like coal to these power plants, because it's like we're manually filling these right now, which is not great. Like, it almost ran out, but it'd be awesome if we didn't have to do that. And for that, we're going to be running these burner miner drills, which are okay. They get the job done early game, but they're not very efficient. And why we have power now, so we can run electric mining drills. Also, we're out of power in these. Right, we are out of that. Put the rest of the automation science packs in there. And because of disco science, it's flashing red. Alright, so we want to make like 4 of these, and we want to make a bunch of transport belts. And actually, I'm going to move this whole setup to like the corner over here where you're not going to bother anyone, because we still want to have some coal being like manually created, but we don't need it right there. Oops, I'm gonna make some ghosts to see where we want to put this initial. I'm not very like precise when mining these initial patches. Like, this one's awkward too because it's like next to the water. And I'm actually just gonna cut off that burner miner drill thing altogether and just pop you right there. I can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, and these are yelling at us for not having power because obviously they need power because they are electric. And they're going to start mining coal for us. And of course we ran out of transport belts, which means we ran out of iron. We gotta keep going there. And the process begins. But like, yeah, no, like, without Afraid of the Dark, this would be even darker. And it's already pretty dark on the screen. For like the actual stream. And for the YouTube audience, this is where I'm going to cut the first episode to a close. Actually, first we're going to make a burner inserter, which essentially it's a bad version of early inserter that runs on coal, but it feeds itself. And I like these in the early game because if we ever run out of power for some reason, it won't like run out of power and be unable to power itself. So if we take out the coal, it'll start putting coal into it. But for the YouTube, if you want to catch these live, twitch.tv/LeRon. And for those on Twitch, stick around because we'll be changing and like continuing in like 5 seconds.